dangerous. It's rough, can be rough, and it's nerve-wracking and disruptive. Costs a lot of money actually to live on the street. A lot more money than it costs, to cook your own food and not spend a lot of time looking for the next place where you might be safe enough to survive another day or so. It's expensive, to be honest with you. Lots of land around, but the regulations are kind of all against it. There was a guy on TED the other day talking about the fact that methane and ethanol, of course they're flawed products, but I mean, and a couple of other things. There's like four-fuel biodiesel. There are four fuels that you could use in cars that would be much cheaper than using oil, actually, for the country. But the laws are all against it. You can't do it. There's a supplier and where you get the stuff, and the regulations are against it. If you want to change your car over, say, he was talking about methanol, you could do it for $100 and then it'd be a lot cheaper. But you're not allowed to do it. You have to get a permit and alter the car, and it costs $1,000. Who has $1,000? So here we are, and real challenge, and just want to kind of, put a face on that, show you what that looks like when old, because you hear about, those old people having a tough time. What does it look like? Well, this is what it looks like. So, I find myself, what happens? Well, I find myself, kind of staying inward more. I have to be careful about that, because my thing is I'm going to surrender to God no matter what. Let God. And so I can't go there, but I kind of hesitate to do that very much. But I'm kind of like don't want to think about these things because it's so painful and just racks my nerves because I'm depressed. I'm fairly intelligent. I'm not super intelligent, but I do have ordinary intelligence. And I can't figure it out exactly. I'm working on some things, but I don't have much time. Accessory buildings and things that people have been up against this before know about in small areas. But gee, if you hook up to power, why, gosh, that's and permits and permits here in California. They're unaffordable for an ordinary person without a job. Can't afford them. $10,000, $1,000, $500. You barely have enough to eat and stay warm. Pay the electric bill. So I find myself, how do you deal with it? Well, more and more inward, because in my inner world, I'm fine. Feels nice there. You kind of get inward enough. There's no consciousness of this world, just that world. Say it's an escape, but it's actually just kind of thing with the real reality and not this reality in this world. So I end up, tending to try and be, without fudging or getting off the beat of being really 100% surrendered, to kind of stay in that place where I'm kind of, not connected to outer stress, because it's a lot nicer there. It's a lot like, have a nice warm place to live, all cozy and everything, so when things get too rough, you run over there and stay in your room and it's all cozy, warm, nice, a lot of racket, feel pretty good. It's like that. Anywho, son's gonna come over in a few minutes. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. This is Wednesday. And then probably Monday they're gonna come and, be like poor Palestinians, They're gonna take the bulldozer and just bulldoze the house down. Good shelters, work fine, no hazards. There's no, we have, legitimate code level sewage and water and electricity. It's all, I don't know. We're trying to avoid that, but hard to figure out a way to do it, Pass. Around, find a loophole in regulation. We're like the corporation, trying to find a way. Because as I say, and I'll just finish this off, the trouble was that we started out on a kind of an illegal basis, based on somebody's ignorance and an assumption that they didn't. I had the assumption that they didn't have that ignorance, kind of knew what they were doing, and I didn't. It turned out to be the other way around. And for various reasons, respect for an older person and stuff, I didn't bring it up. And of course, I knew that, as Christ said, you gotta build on a strong foundation. I kept thinking we'd be out of here and just leave it, and we never made it. We tried all kind of ways to make money. Didn't work out. You'd have heard about it, of course. You hear about it. It worked out. Every time it works out for the 1 out of 300, why then you hear about that. And it's all good, It's all good, but it's harrowing, I'll tell you. Where will we sleep next week, and what will happen to our stuff that we can't replace, and which took us years to get back to. So, but these are the kind of things, isn't it? That you see all these wars and disses of people walking down the road. They've all had to go through this. And fundamentally, it all comes down to the fact that man, what it really comes down to is the fact that at some point he decided he could figure things out better than the guidance of God that he was getting, and so he took that route because of pressure. How does that work? Well, a lot of times, if you're actually following the guidance of God, what happens is this. You see a danger, and you think, boy, I better run over there. I better run over there and get away from that danger. And then you follow the guidance, and you check the guidance. Submit it to the guidance says, stay right where you are. And your heart gets all excited, you think you're going to die, and you don't. And so, at some point, because of pressure and, things that you're not supposed to give into, fear and passions and, things, unfortunately, perhaps the person does give into it, so they run off. The thing that God, in His wisdom, knew was best, they don't do that, and they live another day, and then they go on in that way, and then they have children, and those children inherit those kind of characteristics, and on it goes. Kind of a lot of words to kind of, but the real point, and then the other point, how that works out in this world. Is that people then reach a point where, because there's so much land, here's the basic thing. There's 7 billion of us somehow at this point. And those that have studied these things, and there are people, quite a few, who studied this sort of thing,